nobody ever knows your personal name.
They've never asked for my account number. That's the way you won't catch you my real name. Maybe 2 months I say, hello, Pretty, how are you? What's your name? My name is Pretty Dancil. When you get the account number, you go no say her name no Okorie Obodo. One month.
Wow. I've seen your billboard across town, and I can only imagine the amount of monies or investments that you have put into this particular show.
Yeah.
Most of the people that I have conversed with when it comes to shows like this, they always say that it is difficult to get back your monies, your investment when you invest in something like this. I'm sure that is not no small feat actually having to do this. What gives you that inspiration that this will fly in ENUGU?
Yeah, the inspiration started from me knowing that I've tried in ENUGU. I've been doing comedy in ENUGU since 2005, comedy and MC. Yeah, I've been here. So, and most people knows me. So I want to capitalize on that, my street credibility and my connection, my relationship with people. So that one motivated me to say, okay. Two, another thing that motivated me is, when you have someone that believes in you and say, okay, I'm going to invest in you too. And that is Giant Inc. So he had to throw in his weight financially, contact-wise, moral-wise, everything to me. So that one gave me another motivation. Three, another motivation I got is that I noticed that ENUGU, being the center of entertainment in Southeast, they are gone, and they are, they understand. ENUGU is exposed. We understand comedy concert like this. So always stay talk at Ebo. I may not be able to pull up such a premium comedy concert. Yeah. It will be dead on arrival because the town, the environment won't understand what you are trying to do. So for them to key into the seeing the lineup of artists, seeing the venue I'm doing it, seeing the way I'm running the publicity, they can understand, say this is a premium concert. So, and with that, I'm selling out tickets, I'm selling out my table, people are buying the table, a lot of people are in, as well there is no money, but people understand value for happiness, value for mental strength, and value for, relaxation, because there's no how you come for this show that your BP will not drop. It's not possible. Okay. It's not possible. Even before the interview finish, some people that have been certainly of BP, it will drop. No finish, more they go see. I dare.
Okay. There are people who complain bitterly. People who are based in ENUGU, they see these kinds of comedy, events, Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. They hardly see it in ENUGU. Few persons who have done it would also complain about funding too, as the case may be. Why do you think these guys don't come to ENUGU? Because people I've seen do this kind of shows are people who are indigenous to the state. They try to pull up things like this and then bring some of these people into town, and you will see that it's really an issue, with them. At what point really do you think we can get to so much so that we can have these kinds of shows just come into ENUGU? You just see it. Well, ENUGU is part of the cities that are going to host these kinds of big shows.
Yeah, one of it is funding, because the truth is, if I tell you how much entertainment is the new oil, do you understand? That is why a lot of people are into content, making money on social media and all that is the new oil, and such event is capital intensive.
Absolutely.
So imagine if I meet you now and say, chairman, I beg, I want to do concerts. I beg, help me with 50 million naira. That's when you remember that I have a friend that is into real estate that is begging you to buy some plot of land for 40 million naira. And you think it was spending it on entertainment, I don't know, than buying a land that I know that has value. So an Igbo man and his business sense, that is why in the West, they understand these things more. Do you understand? And they invest in it more. And the investment comes by them creating platforms like TV stations, radio stations, and all that. That's why in the West you have a lot of TV stations. So that's why I was happy when I know, yes, we have signature TV right here. So it gave me a lot of joy. I know, yes, the season for Southeast to be liberated from excising and expanding our potential. The time don't come. So with that, investors can come and invest if there are no platform. But I know that very soon things are opening up. Do you understand? So it's not easy. The major thing is the funding, and for them to come and fund, you have to play your game to a certain level and see how the environment accepts it. Then an investor can say, okay, I'm coming to invest. Like we are bringing Gordons, we are bringing MC Passion, that guy that does my flatmate Titus. We are bringing Forever, we are bringing Arinze Baba, Clean the Drunk. So by the time they come and see, wow, Enugu likes this kind of thing, you go see them and then go carry sponsors on their own contact. Say more do Enugu na very people for Enugu, they like this kind of concept. They can invest 50 million, 60 million, 100 million as the case may be to do the show. And from there you can see that we are opening up. And I pray and I hope that if the government will be able to give us body assistance, when about body assistance, financial assistance, and then by policy and environmental assistance. But as least as it could be, body assistance, it will go a long way in encouraging investors to come. What do I mean by body assistance? If you invite the governor, invite the deputy governor to come, and obviously you won't ask them to pay for it. It will be an honor to have them on your show. You have their seats reserved. And the people come to the show and see that deputy governor did this kind of concert, or governor did this kind of concert. It will send a signal and a vibe to investors and even the A-list artists out there in Africa to say Enugu is a ground where you can strive and invest in entertainment, because they can now see that the government has a thing for it. Do you understand? So imagine where you want to invite the governor, even the commissioners or the people around. They say no. Governor is a serious person. He does not like. No, go to Lagos. You see Jide Sanwo-Olu coming to comedy concerts. Go to Port Harcourt when Wike was involved. He was coming to comedy concerts. Go to any city that I see entertainment striving. You see that the government is giving them body assistance. Do you understand? So this is one of the things we are praying in Southeast here, and Enugu that will champion it for us to have. Last regime, we had a little bit challenge on that. That is why entertainment went like 9 years backwards and all that. So when somebody has been dead for over 8 years, when you wake the person up, you go first of all bath, sneeze, brush teeth, they go check them up. So we are on a recuperating process, but I know that in 1-2 years with what is going on now, it won't be hard for us to pick up and we're back to where we're supposed to be, because Enugu has already and has been spot one when it comes to entertainment in Nigeria.
Right. What about your collaborations? You spoke about body language in terms of collaborations with the state government. Are you seeing that with what is going on? Is the government putting in efforts to make sure that the state is opening for youth to invest in kinds of things like this, or even providing an atmosphere that can be viewed as welcoming?
Yeah, I'll give it to the present government by creating an avenue where people can actually have the confidence to come out and relax and laugh, because this show is starting by 7 p.m. So I'm going to highlight one or two things, then highlight one or two challenges to you.
Okay.
Now, in the past, people can confidently come out by 7, 8, 9, 10 a.m. to do show. I can hear with they go there, 1 feet, once person throw knockout. You go here, one so, but now you can see that the government present has created, you can see the massive investment on security. Both, security is there, then the vibe is giving a new fresh of new government, new potentials, new possibilities, so the vibe is there for people to actually come and enjoy. But the challenge we are getting is, if I've reached out to governments on this. I've written to the governor, I've written to the deputy governor, I've gone to meet a commissioner for
tourism,
commissioner for tourism and all that. And you understand that Enugu wants to make money too. They are business profit oriented and all that. So me, I understand it. So I'm trying to poach him from my own angle that the 7.5% VAT will definitely be remitted to the state government after the proceed and the profit of the show, which was categorically stated out in all my appeal for them to give me body assistance. Let the people feel the wave of the government being part of this. And this is your own doing it. It would be unfair, that if somebody out there, another comedian, maybe a list comedian, comes to do a show here, and then I say, okay, let them support. That's the same thing of killing the growth within the environment. I don't consider calling anybody any local artist. Nobody is local. Even the person in Lagos that is a list artist, to South Africa, they go say, let's go to Lagos and bring a local artist, and that local artist will be basket mouth. So the body assistance is not encouraging, but it's just us trying to appeal to them, because I know they have good intentions, to appeal to them that this is very important for the youth and for the entertainment industry. If I tell you how many people wade into entertainment industry, we plenty, and if we are frustrated, that is where crime increases. But if we get the assistance, us will be the front line of entertainment in Enugu. When I say this thing they work, you go see a lot of people tweeting away from crime and this thing. Say, if this one they work, now more follow this thing they work. Do you understand? Because if we are frustrated, it's going to give birth to some certain mischievous ideas to the youth. So I really pray that the government should learn how to support entertainment, comedy. Go. I've seen even where the acting guild, this thing, they will go, they try to assist them. The movie. They should remember there's a comedy sector. Yeah, they could be all entertainment, but nobody is talking about. There's a comedy. That is a very big revenue. There's a comedy sector. They should look into it. It is striving. It is huge. It is big.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do we expect on Sunday? I mean, there's a lot coming up. What do we expect on Sunday? We're almost out of time.
Yeah, on Sunday it's gonna be. I'm expecting to see Pius. If not because of now, I'm taking time to finish the rest of the name, Charles. So we're expecting comedy from Gordon's Berlusconi. Hallelujah. Comedy from Clean the Drum, comedy from Forever, comedy from Twin Parrots, comedy from Frances, Arinze Baba, MC Passion, and obviously I, the host, MC For God, MC Grandpa, a lot of comedians and some upcoming artists. You may be there, you see your village person where you define things and he's performing on stage. Wow, you'll be like, whoa, this is where you've been. So it's going to be fun. The packaging is premium. It's premium. You can imagine a show that the table is 2 million naira. That's premium table. You can imagine a show where the executive table is 1.5 million naira. Regular is 6,000 naira. Then sit on a table is 150,000 naira. Okay. For those that cannot afford, say maybe I can afford 1 million, but I don't have 10 persons. You just buy one seat. That's 150,000. So you can imagine with such amount of money, you didn't think I will not give you value for your money?
Absolutely.
Because I'm thinking of season 2.
Okay. Let's be done with season 1 first, so we can be done with season 2 a little later. But again, thank you so much for this initiative. We hope to support in every way possible we can. The station is actually putting its own weight behind you, and make sure that also you would have a good time there. And we also tell Enugu State and people around the Southeast and around the world to watch out for this show on Sunday. If you have time, come through for it as well. And by the way, there's a clip of you doing a joke, and I'm wondering why you're not paying people to help you do it. I don't know if you have seen that clip, the clip that you did anyway.
Yeah, no, which one?
Okay.
I didn't see any clips.
Okay, we'll just watch the screen.
Okay.
I want to say a very big thank you to those that have been reposting jokes and jives with MC For God happening on the 18th of August, this Sunday at the Base Event Center. Thank you so much. And to those that have bought regular, thank you. To those that have bought seat on the table, wow, thank you. To those that went on buy table, go, I'm shy. Thank you. And to those that have been seeing the publicity, those that have not even bought even regular, not sit on a table, not even table, you've not bought any ticket at all the same, I say, buy your tickets, buy tickets, buy tickets, buy your tickets. When you see me, I tell me you are doing well, you are doing, buy tickets. Then you do well, buy tickets, buy tickets. I'll find you on your ass.
Nigeria's headline inflation rate has decreased to 33.40% in July 2024, down from 34.19% in June 2024, marking the first decline since December 2022. The analysis, based on the National Bureau of Statistics NBS Consumer Price Index CPI report for July 2024, highlights a 0.79 percentage point drop from the previous month. On a year-on-year basis, the inflation rate was 9.32 percentage points higher than in July 2023, indicating a continued increase compared to the same period last year. The month-on-month inflation rate in July 24 was 2.28%, slightly lower than the 2.31% recorded in June 2024. Food inflation now stands at 39.53% from 40.87% in July 2024. The NBS report suggests that the easing of inflation could signal the beginning of a positive trend, but the year-on-year inflation shows that economic challenges remain. The UK economy has expanded by 0.6% in the second quarter of 2024, continuing its cautious rebound from recession. The Office for National Statistics (ONS) reported that while growth was flat in June, the economy has shown slight but consistent growth throughout the year, driven by temporary momentum from falling inflation and boosted consumer spending during events like Euro 2024. On an annual basis, the economy grew by 0.9%, slightly above forecasts. Economists warn that the pace of growth is unlikely to continue in the second half of the year due to challenges such as weaker wage growth, high interest rates, and supply chain issues. The British pound saw a slight increase following the GDP release, reflecting cautious optimism about the country's prospects. As the new Labour government, led by Prime Minister Keir Starmer, prepares to deliver its first budget in October, there is hope that planned reforms and fiscal strategies will provide a clearer direction for the economy. The scale of the challenge remains significant, with a £22 billion deficit in public finances and the need for sustained economic growth to address these issues. The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has announced plans to establish special units to address the issue of unclaimed dividends in Nigeria's capital market. Speaking at a news conference following a Capital Market Committee (CMC) meeting on Thursday, SEC Director General Emomotimi Agama revealed that unclaimed dividends have surged to $215 billion as of March 2024. Agama said that the Commission is implementing mechanisms to reduce the figure and ensure better management of dividends. Small offices will be established at the SEC's headquarters and locations across the country to facilitate this effort. The issue of unclaimed dividends has been a persistent challenge, with the bill reaching ₦190 billion in August 2023, showing the need for a better approach to resolving this problem. Japan's economy experienced a rebound in the second quarter of 2024, driven by a notable increase in private consumption. Data released on Thursday, August 15th, revealed that the country's GDP expanded by an annualized 3.1% from April to June. This growth exceeded market expectations of a 2.1% increase and marked a sharp turnaround for the revised 2.3% contraction in the first quarter. The resurgence in economic activity was primarily fueled by a 1% rise in private consumption, which accounts for more than half of Japan's economic output. This marks the first gain in 5 quarters, providing a much-needed boost as households struggled with rising living costs, partly attributed to higher import prices due to the weakening yen. The latest figures lend support to the Bank of Japan's forecast that the economy is on a path to sustainable recovery, which could help achieve the central bank's 2% inflation target. This development also raises the possibility of further interest rate hikes in the future as the economy continues to show signs of resilience. Lagos, Rivers, and Kano states have emerged as Nigeria's leading hubs for micro, small, and medium enterprises (MSMEs), according to a recent report by PwC. These states are favored by MSMEs due to strong infrastructure, market access, and large business ecosystems. Lagos State is the highest, accounting for 7.3% of MSMEs. This is because of its population of over 20 million people, well-developed infrastructure, seaports, airports, and an attractive demographic profile. Rivers State, with its wealth from national resources, has seen infrastructural development, creating a solid foundation for business growth. Kano's large market also draws small businesses, making it a hub for MSMEs in northern Nigeria. Muda Yusuf, CEO of the Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise, CPPE, says Lagos and Kano's prominence as commercial centers is not surprising, though he expressed some uncertainty about Rivers State's position. The report also revealed that the wholesale, retail, trade, and manufacturing sectors are the most dominant contributors to MSMEs in Nigeria, accounting for 25.3% and 22.5% of the total. These sectors play a key role in driving economic development and job creation across the country. The Association of Master Bakers and Caterers of Nigeria, AMBCN, Lagos chapter, is calling for urgent intervention by the Nigerian government in an ongoing dispute over soaring flour prices. This follows a recent 150-day duty-free waiver granted by the federal government for the importation of wheat, maize, and husked brown rice. The AMBCN alleges that despite the waiver, flour millers under the Flour Milling Association of Nigeria, FMAN, have not reduced prices, making it increasingly difficult for bakeries to operate. AMBCN Lagos chairman Matthew Ayola expressed concerns that the government's intention was to alleviate food inflation, but flour prices remain high, with no relief in sight. Over the past decade, flour prices have increased from 8,000 naira to 67,000 naira per bag, putting immense pressure on the baking industry. General Secretary Abraham Alibaba warns of broader economic impacts, claiming that master bakers are the second largest employers of labor in Nigeria. The potential shutdown of bakeries could have severe social consequences, including increased unemployment. The AMBCN is demanding a government investigation into the activities of flour millers, enforcement of the import duty waiver, and a reduction in flour prices to between 30,000 naira and 40,000 naira per bag. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and President Teodoro Mbasogo of Equatorial Guinea have signed an agreement on a gas pipeline for the Gulf of Guinea. The announcement was made in a statement released by Ajuri Ngelale, the spokesperson for President Tinubu, on Thursday. The agreement marks a new phase in the partnership between the two nations, focusing on mutual development. This collaboration on the Gulf of Guinea gas line project is expected to strengthen economic ties and enhance energy security in the region. Further details on the project's scope and timeline are yet to be disclosed. At the close of Thursday's trading, a total of 271,259,970 shares were exchanged in 7,233 deals, amounting to a market value of 3,522,892,918.09 naira. This marks a 14% decline in volume, a 36% decline in turnover, and a 14% decline in deals compared to the previous trading day. The current market capitalization stands at 55.1 trillion naira. Out of the 116 equities that participated in trading, 14 recorded gains while 31 saw losses. Top gainers included Nymath International Pharma, which saw a 9.55% increase to close at 2 naira 18 kobo per share, followed by Total, ICO Insurance and C&I Leasing. On the losing side, Owando experienced the most significant drop with a 9.94% decrease to 32 naira 60 kobo per share. In terms of volume, Veritas Capital Assurance led with 33.4 million shares traded, followed by Sterling Bank at 16.6 million, ICO Insurance at 16.4 million, and RT Briscoe at 16.2 million. The benchmark NGX All-Share Index ASI dropped 99.24 points, that is a 0.1% in points, to close at 97,100.36.
So we've come to an end of the program this morning. It's been one fine time with you all through this morning. Well, continuing though, we have a very special interview. On Wednesday, 14th of August 2024, the House of Representatives Tribunal sitting in Abakaliki sacked Simon Atigwe of the People's Democratic Party and returned Dennis Abo of Labour Party to the Green Chamber. Dennis Abo's journey to represent his people began with a desire to change the narrative of Iboes and North and Udenu Federal Constituency in Enugu State. Join us for this Signature TV exclusive interview with Honorable Dennis Abo by 11 a.m., which is just about 3 minutes from now. So stay with us. My name is Charles. See you tomorrow.
It's an honor to actually sit with you. I will just get right to it. I am with Honorable Dennis Nnamdi. I actually would prefer to put Honorable Nnamdi Dennis Abo. He's an honorable member, House of Representatives, representing Iweze North Udenu Federal Constituency of Enugu State. Good day, sir.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
How do you feel? How do you feel getting your victory back? Let's just start with that.
I feel happy, obviously. I feel excited. Happy in the sense that it is not good when people have given you their mandate for you to lose it. It's, I believe it's my responsibility to keep the mandate popularly given to me, a popular mandate given to me by my people. So when this is threatened, I believe it's my responsibility to chase the mandate and recover it for the good of the people. The reason is that there is, for their House of Representatives, for that particular constituency, that's a person they want to represent them. My people have somebody in their mind, and that person is me. They want me to represent them. If they therefore come out and vote for me and give me their mandate, and then somehow, because of the ills and the failings of society, that mandate is threatened, it is my responsibility to pursue that mandate and recover it. In fact, the recovery of mandate is an additional proof that you are able to discharge the responsibilities of the mandate. First of all, reclaim that mandate on behalf of the people. It is not good for, the worst thing that can happen to society is that people exercise their choice, and that choice is thwarted. It is not good at all.
Okay. We learned that during the election, you went to one of the, well, some people dread the place, but you felt it's your constituency, it's part of the people if you were elected to lead. But you went there nonetheless, and a lot of people wouldn't even do that, let alone take their first son with them. What influenced that?
Yeah, number one, if you ask me what influenced that, I should say this thing about representing people is about service, and that's the way I understand it. Other people may understand it any other way. It's about service, and to serve, you have to be the least. You cannot be the greatest when you serve. We have examples of service. So therefore, if the people I'm wanting to represent are locked up somewhere called the den of bandits, I cannot pretend or assume that I'm representing them when I cannot reach where they are. These people, they are made to pay some kind of ransom to conduct their daily life to people who have besieged the place. I have to go and find out how are they doing, because they are part of the constituency. If without them, the constituency is not complete. So we have to go there, ask them for their vote, explain our programs for them, find out how they are doing, and then put myself in their situation. And then that is the best way you can devise a solution to their problem. So I had to go. People say it was dangerous, and I said, how can it be dangerous? I belong to this place. This is my constituency. I represent everybody here. I have only tried to represent my people. I've not done any other thing. I've not muzzled them. I've not oppressed them. I've not stolen from them. I've grown up among them. So, and I've not done any evil. I'm not accused of anything that is untoward in my community. I've not taken what does not belong to me. I'm not going to even chase what does not belong to me. I'm not going to try to take what does not belong to me. I've not sent young men to go and play thuggery for me. I've not sent people to go and kill for me. I don't have a band of armed robbers that I breed. I don't have any evil person that can say I am the one lending him protection. I am not part of any evil system. Therefore, Why should somebody want to hurt me or to do it? I didn't send anybody to go and rob for me or to go and kill for me. So I have only built schools. I've only intervened on electricity distribution, water, empowerment, name it. These are the good things I've just lent my life to do for them. And they know me. They know I'm not telling them a lie when I tell them, oh, I've built this school, I will name the school. They can associate and relate with the schools or the projects that I've done. Nobody thinks evil about me in my place. So I said, we're in the UK. We went together. So, and on our way going, the car broke down. We had to come out from the vehicle. And that was in the midst of these bandits. And but they were watching us from their hideout, from their den, and they must have asked among themselves, who is this person coming in here? And they say it's Dennis Abu. And they said, look, leave that one alone. I didn't feel there was nothing like anybody bothering us. Nobody bothered us. Nobody disturbed us. They watched us. We finished cutting trees and putting on the road to enable the cars to pass. And we passed and we continued to where we went to for the campaign. We campaigned successfully. And the people, you can imagine the excitement. I was the only person who ever came there to campaign. No other person did. So today, I am one with them. And they know how and why they can say that I'm one with them. Nobody else can claim that. So if this thing about serving, it takes some of that kind of engagement with your people. Extreme engagement.
Okay. What is your plan if your opponent, I'm talking about Atigwe, Honorable Atigwe, if he appeals, what is your plan?
My plan would be to meet him in court. If he appeals, we'll meet in court. And, for me, I have found out that if we have to repair our society, it will take some of this work. Okay? For my election to just become a candidate, I went to the court 7 times. I went to the Supreme Court 2 times. I went to the appeal court, this appeal court they are talking about, I went there 2 times. I went to the High Court 3 times. That's how many times and I won all those 7 cases, back to back. Okay, because I will, like I said, I will not take what does not belong to me. But if you want to take what belongs to me, I will fight for it. So if they decide to go on appeal, I'll go and meet them. One thing is true. I will not even go to a family meeting, not to talk of a court, if I lost an election. I won't even complain to a neighbor. I will walk away. But if I have won an election and there's a threat to take that mandate, I will fight it with everything that I've got because my people expect me to do that. And okay, yesterday when this judgment was given in my favor, and I was declared the rightfully elected candidate or member for my federal constituency, come and see the spontaneous joy in my town, in the 2 local governments, everywhere. People were doing cannon shots. People were buying drink, thanking God, going to church, going to mountain, praising God, singing, praising, feeling happy. Everybody. The whole people in my constituency, they were all excited. They were filled with joy. Now, for that joy in the hearts of my people, on their faces, the smile and laughter on their faces, I can do anything. So going to appeal court is normal. If that's the process of asserting that, yes, this mandate is mine. Okay? Now, and I hope you know how we came here, so that it's not like I am anxious at what will happen in appeal court. There can only be one thing that will happen. That's confirmation of my mandate. That's the only thing that will happen. And in all of this, I have God with me, and I take that seriously. I take that one seriously. It's an advantage I have. So I have no fear in my mind at all. I fear only one person. I fear God, and when I fear him, I have no other fear in my mind. Okay. So we'll meet them in court. And by the way, even certain issues that I'm not happy with that judgment, I'm going to cross appeal. So they are going to appeal. Me too, I'm going to appeal. Even though I want but certain things need to be put right. Certain pronouncements of the tribunal that I don't agree with, I'm still going to cross appeal. That is how serious it is. Because we are building our electoral jurisprudence. So as we are going, we are picking the experience, we are trying to correct things. Even my experiences on all this journey will form a mandate I have, even when I go back to the House of Representatives, in terms of making laws and legislation.
Okay. I would ask the next question. Are you going to return to the House immediately, or will you wait after the appeal?
I want to return. The order of the court is very clear that a certificate of return should be issued to me immediately, and that I should be sworn in and inaugurated into the Federal House of Representatives. So I expect that my swearing in should be immediate. If because the other candidate wants to go to appeal, and they want to wait till they exhaust their right of appeal, so be it. But the order of the court is of the tribunal is very clear that I should be inaugurated immediately, and certificate of return should be issued to me, and the one issued to him should be withdrawn. That's the order of court. Okay. So I expect the court, I expect INEC, I expect everybody to obey the order of court.
Okay, you've not actually yet assumed when there was a particular, will I say, bill of some sort that was passed for the legislators, as in talking about slashing their salaries to half. And what is your take on that?
It's a token, but it's just like to indicate that, okay, the National Assembly want to be in solidarity with the Nigerian people. Things are hard, that this is what we can also do. But I want to say it's just like a token. More can be done. More can be done. More and much more can be done. It's not, well, how much is our salary? Our salary is small.
How much is it?
My salary as at the time is not more than 650,000 naira in a month, and then they take the tax. So if you talk of half of it, about 200 and something thousand, it's really nothing, because they talked about salaries.
Okay. So talking about representation,
That's 650 in a month.
Okay, that means it's like over 300 plus. If you're to cut the salary.
But you have not removed the tax. If you remove the tax, it may be less. That's why I say 200 and something thousand.
Okay. So talking about representation, before you got this far and you got this victory, you knew there were oppositions. Are you going to be, what kind of representation are you going to be doing? Would you carry everybody along, including those that fought against you, or would you segregate?
See,
there is a saying that it says you keep the devil at a distance. So we want to know
the thing is, I'm going to represent everybody, and my people know that I represent everybody. Some people say this is a game, and I don't like this kind. I don't like playing the politics in this kind of way. So we want to, clean up our mandate, confirm our mandate, affirm our mandate. But after that, we go to work. Our people know that I work for them. They know that this 1 year they have lost a lot. I was inaugurated into the National Assembly in June last year. And by November, when I left my seat in the National Assembly for all these troubles, I had constructed 2 classroom blocks, started from foundation and finished it. One in Oda, one in Umobego. It was rainy season at that time. I was barely saying, so help me God, at my inauguration. And they told me that a classroom block had fallen and children were schooling under the tree. I had to shop around the whole federal ministries and agencies to get an agency that will help me construct the classroom back. So within, let's say, the first month, at the end of the first month or the beginning of the second month of my being in the house, they were already laying the foundation to construct a classroom. And it was finished, plastered, painted, tiled, sealed, everything completed, and then the classroom was handed over to the community. That was done. Then the other one again, the next community now came and said, okay, we have a dormitory. The students don't live in dormitories again. We want to use that dormitory for an examination hall. So to convert that dormitory, we had to pull it down because it was even descriptive. We pulled it down, reconstructed a brand new examination hall. It was also finished, done with, painted, tiled, sealed, finished. Before that November. Before that November, another community called Umagwedeg, they came, that they have made some community efforts to do rural education for themselves. And I say, how far have you gone? They say, okay, they are just looking for a transformer. I purchased a transformer for them with which they were able to complete their rural education project in Umagwedeg. The same thing happened at Umadonowo. They came, almost the same problem. I gave them a transformer with which they completed their rural education project. At the same period, again, within the same 6 months or 5 months, if you go to Boleke, from the market, a distance of about 1.5 kilometers to the church, St. Patrick's, the whole church compound have put solar street lights there that lights the compound completely in the night. Then from the market to that college. It was when we were doing campaigns, and we had to come to this particular church in the night, conducting our campaign, that I looked at such a massive school to be in that state of darkness, no light, no electricity connection there. So I now said, okay, when I get into the House of Reps, this is one of the very first things I'm going to do. So putting solar street lights and lighting that entire compound of St. Patrick's was part of the things I also did within the same period. And so on and so forth. So those 5 projects, the 2 classroom blocks, the 2 electricity projects, and the solar street light project, all of them were completed within 5 months. Now, so you can imagine if I have been there for the last 1 year or almost 1 year, this is the way projects will be rising around the constituency. Rising for people in Labour Party, people in PDP, people in other APC, other political parties. The delivery of dividends of democracy does not recognize party. Everybody is a member of the constituency. You can belong to your political party, but you go to the same school that I built. I built a technical college, finished in my first tenure, which everybody attend. Everybody attends the school, whether you are from Labour Party or whether you're from APC or PDP. Everybody goes to school. So I serve everybody, and our people actually know. I don't play too much of politics. If anything, I'm in a hurry to deliver service. I'm not in a hurry to play politics. But our people know that the best politics you can play is the politics of service. So you could also say that I understand my politics very well. But I play politics through service. And that is the most enduring kind of politics you can play.
Okay, talking about bandits, you did mention about the fact that a section of that constituency has bandits. What is your plan as regards
okay, let me tell you
that?
This visit to that community that was besieged was when I was conducting my campaign. Immediately I won the election in June. I won it in February. We were inaugurated in June, and I came into office. Everything about banditry started disappearing. They started, because I was away from office for 4 years. Then we started talking about banditry within my constituency. When I came into office without shooting a gun, without raising a finger, everything started disappearing. Security came back. Young men were not being killed again. Nobody, all those criminality, they all started disappearing. Why? Because the man of peace has come. I have nothing to do with crime. I don't send children or young people to go and do crime. And without even holding a town hall meeting, everything started disappearing. And I tell you, if I had remained in office till now, that we will not be talking about anything about. Young men in the bush would have come out and taken an enterprise, taken up something to do, find them something to do. And that is my responsibility.
So you think it's because they didn't have a proper leader?
They also did, thank you. They also didn't have a good leader. They didn't have a good leader. They have people who think that they have to muzzle, force people. They don't have the culture of tolerance. They think that it's take it or leave it. No, you have to build a consensus. Consensus building is the responsibility of a leader, and you have to show by examples. It's not a do or die. You have to teach young. I was a banker. I left the bank as a general manager before I got into government to serve as a commissioner to come. So I want young people to also experience a life of career, a career life. They don't have to get into criminality or to banditry or to, they are entitled to a good life. And it is the responsibility of us, the leaders, to guide them so that they can have the good life. They can discover what they can do with their life and actualize themselves. So when leaders are not doing that and they are carrying people to stand behind them like this, I mean, when I get into office, I find young people who come to me and say, if I come home, you tell us so that I can come and receive you. I said, no. That's not what you are supposed to be doing. I said, what do you do now? I mean, IMT, I finished from IMT, but I don't have money to do my clearance. I would have gone for you service. I said, okay, this person, this is my PA or whoever, go with this man, calculate how much is this clearance money he's looking for. We'll give him the money, he will go for his youth service. He's not supposed to be walking behind me. He's not supposed to be waiting for me to start walking in front of me. That is not, I don't need anybody to do that for me. If I need security, the security agencies are there. But my young people are supposed to be in school, be in the bank, be teachers, be, whatever you want to do. Drivers, bricklayers, construction workers, engineers, architects, that's what young people are supposed to be. I am an accountant, and I've actualized myself. So why should I be telling a young man to come and stand behind me? That's not what you are born to do. You are supposed to actualize yourself, be a media person like you. And I have a very comprehensive plan to guide people to do that. Guide people into their profession, into their different enterprises that they can go into. It is part of the core of my constituency intervention.
So you feel that the leadership they had before was more like a subterfuge?
What I mean is that the leaders they had were people who never thought that these people are entitled to a good life. They thought that because they are leaders, they lord it over the other people, that they are a superior type of being. No, nothing makes us superior. Nothing makes us superior. If anything, we the leaders are supposed to be servants, and the best way to lead is to be a servant leader. The best way to play politics is to play the politics of service. I have played it. People didn't understand it initially. Now they understand it. Now they know it is the thing that endures. Today, somebody called me on phone. The same person, one of the two people that used to come to me and say, when you are coming, you tell us. He called me. He was rejoicing with me. Because they know that I don't pretend about these things. I mean it. That is me. I don't guide people to criminality. I don't do it. It is wicked. It's a sin before God. So I guide young people. I teach you how to conduct your life, how to manage your time, how to use your resources, how to be a responsible member of society, how to actualize a purpose for your life. God has a purpose for everybody. God has a purpose for people. And the purpose of God for everybody is good. Excellent purpose. So it's for us to discover that purpose and work with God to actualize that purpose. And we the leaders, guide people to discover their purpose and to go ahead and fulfill it. That's what I do.
So now that you said that you've won, what will be your focus? Saying that you've lost more or less, say, a year, so you have 3 years. So what will be your focus now?
Unfortunately for us in the legislature, we don't recover tenure. So I have just a balance of, I'll barely have a balance of 3 years. Okay. I have my program clearly worked out before this disruption. I will just go back to where I stopped and continue. It is exciting to know that since this judgment was given yesterday, agencies of government, ministries of government, they have been calling me to rejoice. Director generals of agencies, because I don't get lazy. I work, and I work with these agencies. I work with them to enable them realize and perform their mandates, the mandate of their agency. Many of them have already keyed in when I came in for this other tenure, when I was inaugurated last year. They've already come in. We've already created programs. We're already working on them. Now this disruption came, and it was like they were even more devastated than myself. So immediately they started reading in social media that I'm back. All of them started calling back. They are calling back, and they can't wait for the work to start. And we'll continue, because this country has a problem. We have issues. And it is for us to solve the problem. Leaders solve problems. It is not spirits that come to solve problems. And when I was in my first tenure, and we had this issue of herdsmen, banditry, and all of that, I created a legislative intervention in that regard. I knew that it's about the problem between the farmers and the herders, because they roam and they match the crops of farmers, and then there's conflict, and then the people are killed, people die. Sometimes the bandits, the terrorists, infiltrate the ranks of the herders to conduct because in the night when people are moving with some few cattle, like, you don't know whether they are actually herders or whether they're terrorists moving from one part of the country to the other. And I asked myself, in other climes where people achieve high level of animal husbandry, do they roam? Do they move from place to place? The answer is no. In Australia, in Ireland, in UK, in America, they don't move. They stay in one place. How then do they do it? They transform their animal husbandry system. They modernize it through artificial insemination, through the food, that's the grass, the grazing stock, okay, and all of that. Then the baling, all the things you use to harvest the feed of the grass, and then feed it to the animal, fortify it, and so on and so forth. Blend the types of nutritious grass, legumes, carbohydrate, and all of those things. You combine them. Make sure that when these animals eat these things, they grow fat. And don't forget, when an animal eats the grass or eats food and is walking along the whole stretch, trekking from northern Nigeria to southern Nigeria, the whole thing is burnt. So we don't even conserve the nutrients to make the animal grow and produce meat. Because they are roaming, then our milk production is almost zero. And I checked in the whole world that we have all the trouble, but that we don't even rank among the first 10, whether in meat production or in milk production. But look at the transformation that happened in Rwanda. The Hutus and the Tutsis are the same herders and the farmers. The Hutus are the herders. The Tutsis are the farmers. So the same thing that caused a pogrom there was the same problem we're having here. What did they do? They transformed the animal husbandry system. They ranch the animals. They stay in one place. And now they've become a tourist destination in Africa, one of the most progressive states. So I'm going to go back and get busy with, there are programs I'm working. Now today, the country is grappling with hunger, starvation, shortage of food, food insecurity. Now, I know what to do. I know what to do. I have a farm. In fact, my core of job creation, economic empowerment of my people this time around is about the development of a poultry cluster within my constituency. In a poultry cluster, you need to have a hatchery, you need to have a feed mill, you need to have a processing facility to process the meat, okay? And you need to have an off-taking arrangement. Then you need to be able to train the band of smallholder farmers. Then you need to give them some kind of microcredit. These are the things required. And I have it worked out. I'm already working, the people calling, part of the people calling me now are people I'm working with to implement a hatchery within my constituency, because there's no hatchery actually, no standard hatchery within the entire Southeast. For you to buy a day-old chick, DOC, you have to go as far as Ogun State, Oyo State, Kaduna State, and so on. This is where you can get a DOC. When you buy DOCs from there, before you get your mortality would have consumed a number of those chicks. Now, we want to have a hatchery within the constituency where people can just shift and buy 400 beds and go behind their house and conduct a poultry farm. If they do 400 beds and they earn 500 naira per bed at maturity, that is 200,000. How many people? The minimum wage in Nigeria now is 70,000. And it is not 500 naira they will make. Now, the person can have 400 beds in 2 months maturity. After a while, the person can have 2 cycles of 400 beds maturities, so that he can be having monthly maturities of 400 beds per month. So the person makes an income, legitimate income, with pride, with dignity, of 200,000 naira every month. Everybody that works with me, my so-called political associates, I tell everybody, have another address. Politics is not a profession. I have finished a career before I came into government. And I use the word government carefully, because I prefer to say government than to say politics. Politics means nothing. It's the way to get into government. So we talk about government. But people say they are professional politicians. I don't know what they mean by that. So I talk about government. Before I got into government, I have garnered my experience, my self-confidence, my network, nationally, internationally. I've done what I call achievements in my life. I've accomplished them. Then those things recommended me to now come and lend service to my state. Like I said, in 2003, that's 21 years ago, I left UBA as a general manager. So, by now, I should be part of the people trying to contribute to how do we move Nigeria forward. If you try to do it from the private sector, you might not be able to do as much as you can do from the public sector. That is why we are in government. Government gives you a wider sphere of influence to impact more lives. But it's about impacting lives. It's not about oppressing people. It's not about leading people the wrong direction. It's not about administering oath to a counselor that wants to, the young man that wants to be a counselor. You can come and swear oath. Oath for what? Oath of allegiance? To who? To me or to God? Owe your allegiance to God. If I help you today, you say you want to forget tomorrow, so be it. Nobody is a slave to me. Nobody. I was not a slave to anybody. And I'm not even a slave to anybody today. We are all under God, and that is how it's supposed to be.
Okay. So, matching with that means what they call political godfather. You don't have a political godfather.
I have only one godfather in heaven. Okay. I'm telling you. And I'm serious. And I want everybody to know it doesn't even pay to think you want to be anybody's godfather. Look at the trouble, unnecessary trouble, I call it, that we have in Rivers State. Unnecessary. If you finish your tenure, for goodness sake, you turn your back and go. I was a commissioner here. By the time I finished the first tenure of the government, I returned to my office. During that time, we were playing politics before the new tenure of the same government was inaugurated. I was already back into what I was doing. Then they called me back. Oh, you've been reappointed. Then rumors started. They want to make him governor. I said, look, I have something to do. I have something to do. When I'm in government, I apply myself fully. God is my witness. The permanent secretary can bear me out of my ministry that time. I was running my ministry with my personal money. I'm not lying. I'm telling you. Your Oga knows because we're in government together. He knows I ran my ministry with my money. So that is me. So government is not something you want to hug and hold, and you don't even want anybody to come near. No, because it's not a place to enjoy. If you want to make money, there's the private sector with limitless opportunities. They don't have salary for a private sector businessman. You make as much money as you want to make. If I breed 1,000 birds this month, and I make 500 naira on them, and I make 500,000 on them, okay? Then next month I can decide I'm going to do 10,000 bets. I'm making 500 naira on each. I'll make 5 million in a month, which the state will get 5 million in a month if it is your income, so to speak. That is why when I also am in government, I recognize the difference between my salary and my constituency running cost. Constituency running cost is supposed to be applied to running the constituency. I used to tell people, if you go to the ENUGU Technical College that I built for over 100 million, there is no budget item in the Federal Republic of Nigeria that says ENUGU Technical College, because I built it out of my constituency running cost. It's not supposed to be pocketed. So that's where I was saying, when you talk about salary, 50% of salary, blah, 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 and I say it's not much.
You know, there are cases where you have leaders live outside their constituency, live outside where they are living. What do you say to that? Leaders, for instance, you have a local government chairman of, say, town A, local government A, and the particular chairman is living in local government C.
It is bad. It is wrong. Very, very wrong. For me, I conduct the National Assembly business in Abuja, but I have a constituency I'm representing back here. That means I have two homes, so to speak, because Tuesdays to Thursdays, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we are sitting. Okay? Mondays, we go back. We sit Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, we'll come back. That's how it goes. So in that case, you can be looking for me here. You will not see me between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But otherwise, we are supposed to be here with our constituents, understanding their problems, being with them, getting to know them, getting to encourage them. Times are hard, and people need encouragement.
John, you did mention about the fact that, well, your son is, okay, before I get to that, all the hassles that have happened, you know, with the politics, like they call it, the drag to court, appeal court, and back. Did it make you lose interest in government at any point?
Sometimes you ask, sometimes you really ask yourself, is this thing worth it? But if you are truthful to yourself, you will come to the conclusion that it is worth it. Yes, it is worth it, because what is the alternative? To allow people who should be bandits to be in government, because you are thinking you are too decent to be there. Sometimes I feel, oh, is it worth it? You have this beautiful office as a banker, blah, blah, blah. You know, you want to just be in your comfort zone, air-conditioned office. But then what will happen to the constituents? You see the degeneration of political thinking. People are beginning to look at politics wrongly. They are talking about oppression of repression of the people. An individual creates a private detention camp. He puts people of my constituency there. He ties a woman's hand behind her back. You create a private army. Should we watch these things and just say, we are too decent for this? No. Should we watch our place that doesn't have any development project going on, and somebody is representing the place, and our people have, most importantly, they've said, look, Oga, we want you to represent us. Should I shy away? I say, no, that thing is dirty. I'm not cut out for this. No. No. My father was a decent man, also civil servant, fit and proper. A time came, the call of duty came upon him. And while he was discharging that call of duty for our people, he died. So I used to tell my people, I have not even come to the point of dying. My father laid his life for my people. So I will do the most that I can. And God has blessed me, by the way. What else would anybody wish for in life that I don't have? What else? I have a fulfilled career. If you talk about my life history, I'm telling you, you think I have lived 3 times. You think I have lived 3 times. Is it my life in business? Is it my career, my banking career? Is it government? Is it? You think I've lived 3 times over and over again, because now I've garnered a lot of experience in this government business. If you ask me about my business, if you talk about my business from now, we'll be talking about it tomorrow. Because I've done business and I've done well in my business. I understand business. I'm a trained accountant. But I've also accomplished a career in banking. So what else do I want in this life? I have children that are getting good education and looking up to me, understanding values about life. I'm teaching them godliness, values. I'm giving them a good education. So preparing them to face their own future. What else do I want? I have a lovely wife who is behind me in all of these things, who has come to become one with me in what I'm doing. She now understands, because sometimes women don't understand what their husband is. We understand where we are going. When we bring money, when we earn money, we know that some of this money is for the church. Some of this money is for scholarship. Some of this money is for giving to charity. Because that money can purchase us very lavish holidays in Hawaii. My wife, a woman can think like that. But my wife knows that, look, this man knows that part of this money, a good part of it, will go to charity, will go to the church, will go to God's work, will go to scholarships. Scholarship don't purchase me any luxury or any comfort. No. But somehow we still get by. What do I want in this world? There's nothing I want. Food I have. And I don't think, look, for you to live in Nigeria and you don't think about food and food is available, it's a lot of grace. Because some people have to think hard before their night meal comes. We are trying, we leaders should be working and doing everything that we can to reduce that number of people that go to bed hungry. Working to make sure that cost of food comes down. Working to make sure that people don't have to think hard before they can have food to eat. Food is always affordable every other part of this world. I don't know how we came to where we are now in Nigeria. That a country as vast, as blessed, with good weather, soil, climate, and everything, can be having food shortage. I don't know. It shouldn't exist at all. And let me say this before I leave that point. I was listening to somebody on TV, and the person has information. It's not just somebody talking. He has information. And he said that the oil of our country has been sold. The previous administration has sold the whole oil of this country to the end of this present administration. And this present administration is now selling the oil for future generations to come, mortgaging it in forward contracts, mortgaging it in borrowing money, and so on and so on. There must be. Sensible leaders have to discover another source of income for this nation. If we continue to think about oil, we are lazy in the head. Our agriculture can give us 10 times what we get in the oil and gas industry. That is the truth. So we need to think outside the box. We need to begin to do things, innovative things to do. There are so many things that we can do. How about our solid minerals? We're not even thinking about it.
Okay, you did mention about bad roads. What are your moves towards the bad roads in your constituency?
It is terrible. It is a shame that a country as blessed as we are should be having the kind of roads we have, especially, some of these major federal highways. Now, so immediately I got back to the 10th Assembly. I said, no, this thing shouldn't be the case. I moved a motion in the House of Representatives for the immediate rehabilitation and reconstruction of the road. It's a stretch going from Abuja, Kefi, Lafia, Akwanga, Makodi, Otukpo, Obolafo, 9th Mile, and Enugu. It terminates in Enugu. That's the stretch of the road. Now, I discovered when I started making the inquiries that the contract had been awarded to a company called Chinese Harbour Engineering, CHE. They started from the Abuja end, and they were somewhere in Nasarawa State. But the road had become so unserviceable that now travelers have to abandon the entire stretch from Otukpa to Obolafo to 9th Mile. They detour to other local roads, exposing the passengers to dangers, criminality, and so on and so forth, and now going to spoil the other fragile state roads that are in the hinterland. So I moved a motion that, look, in as much as you are coming with this other major project, you need to conduct a palliative maintenance, a remedial work, while the major contract is progressing. Come and do a remedial maintenance so that people can have road to drive on. That was the essence of that motion that I presented in the House of Reps. And I didn't want it to just be a motion. The next moment, I was going to call on the door of the Minister for Works, and he happened to be somebody from this southeast who understands the importance of that road. He understands how strategic the road is. I was going to call and stay in his office, bother him, bother the Minister of Finance, bother everybody that needs to be bothered. Because in Nigeria, it's really a share of the national cake. You need to try to struggle and get your own share. If I have been in the office for the past 1 year, I can tell you there would have been a difference in that road. There must have been a difference, or that otherwise we will be asking ourselves what is happening, what have we done with every naira we have earned in this, because my people also have to have a share. You don't want to think about what that road looks like, coming from 9th Mile to P, to Bolafo, to Tukpa, to Tukpo, to Makodi.
So you're in the office now. Is it given that you're in the office now?
Yeah.
What would you do?
I'm going back to the same project. I will go to the senator, myself, all the House of Reps members that are in that stretch. By the way, when I did that motion, okay, I recruited the other House of Reps members to come. Look, this road is the most important thing we have come here to do. Come and sign off on this motion. Let us move it. And they did. And then I led the motion. I presented the motion. I will go back and recruit everybody again. Why is it that in the last 1 year we have not seen substantial progress? If we don't find a good reason, then we go calling on doors, knocking on doors. There's no need answering a minister, and then you are from this part, and then years will pass and we are not seeing the impact. You have, or it's either one thing or one thing will happen or the other will give. Okay. Because if you are not working, people have to know that you are not working.
Okay. You did mention the fact that your son is schooling in the UK, and well, it's not, one would not say, but you know, there is so much, people have plenty agitations of leaders leaving ordinary Nigerians to school here whilst their kids are schooling abroad. What do you say to that, and why is your son schooling abroad?
When I went to school, I was trained by a widow. My father died early, like I said here. My father died early. My mother was having to raise 8 children, but she made sure that I attended University of Nigeria. University of Nigeria. With 5 kobo meal tickets. 5 kobo meal tickets. We buy it at the beginning of the year. You just buy a whole bunch of meal tickets. You come to the gate of Ekpo Ref or Maria Makeba refectory, you tear one and give to the gate man. You enter there and you ate everything you wanted to eat. In my room in Marere Hall, I was in the E wing initially. I went to F wing. In E wing, we were 3 in a room. Later on, EF, when you get to 3rd year, final year, you go to F wing, you are 2 in a room.
What year was that, so that we keep up to date?
Okay. I went into the university in 1982.
Okay.
So that, if you ask, that was what the situation.
Yes.
Now, I go to the university, and you see like 16 people in one room, 16 students. There will be nothing I'm doing in this world if I let my child go attend that kind of place. Now, I'm coming. Then it should place the burden on me that, look, something needs to be done. If what we are getting now is not education, where you pack 16 children in one room. Therefore, if you make me the chairman, House Committee on Education, things must change. Don't forget, I have intervened in the area of education, primarily and principally. I've built schools. I've built brand new schools. I've built blocks of classrooms in schools. I'm trying to do my utmost best to make sure that the situation changes. And as I get a more pedestal to influence things in society, I am going to make sure that children of Nigeria must get the kind of education we got in those days. How we got here, I don't know. But every leader must feel the urgency to turn things around. Now, you ask me, how do we? It is not easy to send your children to send your children abroad now. Very, very difficult. Look at the exchange rate. Look at the exchange rate. Now, I may not be able to send any of my children again out. But if I can afford it out of my legitimate income, I would like to give them because if you don't have education, if you think education is expensive, try illiteracy. Your children will not be confident. I am a very confident person. Apart from godliness that makes me confident, I have a good education. A good education. A good education. So I want to give my children a good education. I want to make sure that academic calendar can be predicted. You can predict that somebody is going into a 4-year course and after 4 years the person will graduate. It is when we realize that things are bad that we seek to how to solve it. Food is another critical thing. We need to solve it, and so on and so forth.
You did mention the fact that our educational system is dilapidated.
Yes.
What are you going to do to correct it?
I've spoken about my intervention in the area of education.
Yes.
Go to ENUGU Technical College today, which I built. It is the best technical college in Enugu State today. Go there. Don't believe my story. Go and verify.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. I don't know if you have any final or last words because we're...
I want to thank my people. Thank the people of my constituency, the ways and not to the federal constituency. I want to thank them for their patience. Thank them for all their patience and support and solidarity. I want to thank them for the kind of spontaneous celebration that we went into when the judgment came yesterday in my favor. I want to thank them. It means that these people are with me. And it challenges me to continue this work that we are doing for our people. It will not stop. I will double my efforts, and that's the message I have for them. Thank them. I thank them. I thank them. And I thank God Almighty. He is God Almighty. He can do all things. The miracle of this judgment, the miracle of this judgment cannot be told in an interview like this.
What's your inspiration? Last.
This inspiration for this?
Inspiration for everything you do.
It's God.
Thank you so
I
much.
draw my inspiration from the scriptures.
Thank you so much. Honorable Nnamdi Dennis Abo. It's been an amazing time we just we spent with you, and we believe that moving forward, that beyond saying things, like you're trying to leave a mark that you're not just going to be the politicians or a leader that just speaks without acting, that God will also back you up to fulfill every of the mandates you've carried out, and your heart will be brought bare to light. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure.
we should also ask, do we have productive civil servants who go to work, who earn the salary, even the little they are being paid? The government needs to look at, if we must fight corruption, and very seriously, apart from looking at the wages being paid to them, which is meager, which if you look at the per capita income of Nigeria, is nothing to write home about, which is meager. And everybody does whatever he or she wants to do in order to keep body and souls together. That has created a leeway for corruption. Just like we talk about the remuneration of judicial officers, for instance. A judicial officer is not being well remunerated. That's the same judicial officer that is being called upon to decide issues involving trillions of dollars, millions of dollars, millions of pound sterling, and his salary is not even up to $1,000. And then you are saying that such a judge, if not well trained in character, learning and comportment, and one who abhors corruption, certainly will give a corrupt judgment in favor of the highest bidder. And so, going back to the civil servant, I agree their remuneration should be upped. But when you up the remunerations of public officers, we should also see that you don't recruit 5 persons to do a job that 1 person can do. And then we, in another advanced country where we copy this civil service of a thing from, you don't use your hour for work for private conversation, or for truancy, or for moving from one place to the other, selling your coke, mineral, and your money to people in the offices. But in Nigerian offices today, you will see that civil servants they move from office to office, even in their offices, instead of paying detailed attention to documents and other things, in the interest of Nigerian people, they have more interest in their businesses than the work. So we must look at the remuneration, must look at the people we are recruiting into public offices, because in those days, civil servants were not politicians. They were political. But we now began to talk about so many things in Nigeria called freedom. We then have authorities that even as a civil servant, you can belong to a political party. And so the neutrality expected of a civil servant is going down in geometrical proportion, because civil servants now switch allegiance to political parties that comes to power, even when that political party and politicians are doing wrong things. In other crime, where we have institutions, I always give this example of Donald Trump. If America did not have a strong democratic institution, strong military institution, strong electoral body, Donald Trump would have still remained a president of America. Will the situation in United States of America ever happen in Nigeria, where the Independent Electoral Commission will look at the face of the governor, will look at the face of the ministers, look at the face of Mr. President, and say this election is not free and fair? I had always advocated that INEC that is to be assisted, that are being assisted in most litigations in court by losers of election, always team up with those who fraudulently impose themselves on power to defend the fraudulent activities of those politicians. So I have always not regarded INEC as independent. It's independent in name, but when it comes to action, INEC, particularly in litigation, and when you issue a press statement that the election in that area is not free and fair, why then somersaulting it overnight to defend that election? Particularly in a democracy where you see people carrying helicopter and gun, parading in the air, scaring people, dead body littering all over the world, all over the places, and you are saying that is democracy, because that election cannot be said to be free, fair, and credible. You have intimidated people, and it includes undue influence to force yourself on the Nigerian people. It again boils down to our personal character and attitude. How many of us are really ready to defend our principle in the face of money.
Welcome to Signature TV News. I am Barry Kumo Ado. In the headlines, Peter Obi describes seizure of Nigeria's presidential jet as an international embarrassment. INEC insists there is no discrepancy in the 2023 presidential election results. President Tinubu urges African leaders to address exodus of skilled manpower from the continent. And Bayern presents Michael Olise as its new midfielder. Stay with us. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 elections, Peter Obi, has described the report of the seizure of 3 presidential jets in France as another embarrassment which exposed failed leadership in Nigeria. In his reaction over the incident, Obi has also exposed multiple dimensions to the leadership failure and insensitivity of leadership to the plight of a growing poor class in the country. Obi said he had remained loud in his demand over time that the government at all levels should be accountable to the people and very transparent in all their dealings. He observed that until the court in France prohibited Nigeria from moving or selling the 3 jets, Nigerians have no iota of information about both the buying and selling of the aircraft. According to him, the deal has been done in secrecy, with those federal government property which belong to the people being managed as a personal family asset. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, says the aircraft on the presidential fleet are sovereign assets used solely for sovereign purposes and are therefore immune from attachment by any entity. Fagbemi will disclose this in a statement in Abuja following an interim attachment of 3 presidential aircraft undergoing routine maintenance in France, made pursuant to ex parte orders issued by the Judicial Court of Paris. Said the Office of the National Security Advisor, NSA, and the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, and Minister of Justice are currently weighing both diplomatic and legal means and have set in motion both legal and diplomatic steps to ensure the discharge of the inappropriate orders against the aircraft. The arbitral award arose from arbitration proceeding commenced in 2018 following a contractual dispute between the Chinese company and Ogun State government. The claimants say though the dispute originated from engagement of Ogun State government, the consequential enforcement actions are being directed against the federal government and its assets in line with the excellent principles of international law, which holds that the actions of a substantial or local entity are attributable to the state or country itself. The presidency on Thursday said that efforts by a Chinese company, Zhongshan Fucheng Industrial Investments Company Limited, to take over some jets on Nigeria's presidential air fleet are fraudulent. A statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo ENUGU, on Thursday said the federal government is not under any contractual obligation with the company. ENUGU was responding to earlier reports that a French court had sanctioned the seizure of 3 Nigerian presidential jets, including a newly purchased Airbus, amid a legal dispute between Zhongshan and the Ogun State government. Presidential aide said the federal government is not under any contractual obligation with the company, and that a case in which Zhongshan is trying to use every unorthodox means to strip our offshore assets is between the company and the Ogun State government. He said Zhongshan has no solid ground to demand restitution from the Ogun State government based on the facts regarding the 2007 contract between the company and the state government to manage a free trade zone. The ENUGU state government is to begin the enforcement and full implementation of the anti-noise pollution policy in the state from 15 September this year. This was announced by Executive Chairman of the ENUGU Capital Development Authority, Uchanya, at a stakeholder meeting held at the conference room of the State Secretariat, ENUGU. Correspondent David Okoro reports.
The executive chairman of ENUGU Capital Development Authority, Uche Anya, stated that the major reason for the implementation of the zero noise pollution policy, which will take full effect in September 2024, is to reduce the public health hazard caused by noise and make the state a truly modern society.
We want a city where our approved master plan, the zoning, is respected. If we say a place is residential, it's residential. We don't want people putting up nightclubs that starts making noise from 4 p.m. to 6 a.m. every day. And in today's world, we want our city to compete with the best run cities of the world. That is what we are out to do.
Anya stated that government does not give noise permits as suggested by some stakeholders at the event. The government, he added, will not allow churches, mosques, clubs, and bars to operate near residential areas without acoustic booths, warning that such places will be demolished by government.
We do not give noise permits. The government of any state will not give noise permits. And if there was any such thing as noise permit, it's nullified. It doesn't exist. You cannot put up a church in a residential neighborhood. If it has been existing, we will not allow that. We will shut them down.
Some of the participants who spoke at the event appreciated the state government for carrying them along and promised to key into the initiative.
We are made to know that as Muslims, it is our duty to regulate the sound within our prayer premises so that we will not encroach into the rights and the peace of our neighbors. And that we have adhered to that in Enugu State. So our sounds are always regulated. That is the point I want to make here. And we don't take longer duration to say our prayer. And I hope we are within the law.
It's a good one in the sense that nobody would like to live in a noisy environment because of our health and sanity. So it's something that we, the church, subscribe to.
This is really how it should be. We should be able to come together, exchange ideas, on how to make life better for us, make our city more livable, and make our city more functional, working for the good of all of us.
What the Enugu state government is presently doing is in the interest of the people who want to get it right. And what is happening today is like, come, let us reason together. We quarrel because we cannot argue. But when we sit down together and discuss these issues, we have to get it right. And when we get it right, it will be in our own interest.
The Enugu Capital Development Authority says it has received several petitions about the nuisance caused by noise pollution in the state.